Oh my goodness, it's been a hot minute since we've gathered for a movement class. But I do hope that the summer season has been full of movement, just the everyday movement of life. I often find that in summer. We're just walking around more. We're outside, we're carrying things at the farmer's market, we're doing fun things, we're on outings at festivals. Sometimes we dance way too hard at festivals, and then our hip isn't really happy after that. Ay, ay, ay. Sometimes we're out and about with all the friends and then we get COVID. So much fun. Anywho, our vitality, our health is our wealth. We wane, we have these seasons of movement, right? We have seasons where we're moving more, we have seasons where we're moving less. And I personally have been in a season of moving less, and I'm really excited to reignite a season of moving more. It's late summer. We're towards the middle to back end of August right now when we're recording this class. And it really depends on climate shift, your hemisphere, how far north, how far south you are, what you're seeing. We're in a very, very wet moment where I am here on Turtle Island, Chicago, the Sacred Great Lakes, very wet, very humid. It's giving so much heaviness, literal dampness. And so we need that just total body circulation, get everything moving. We might be tired. We're towards the end of summer and there's a lot of fatigue that's coming. There's been a lot of activity, but deep inside in the internal clock, we're starting a shift towards what the Japanese system describes as the doyo, the in-between season. And so the in-between season might be showing up differently depending on your climate. Like you may have extended heat, you may have extended wet. We're gonna have to see what we get. But there still is a seasonal clock turning, and that has to do with the amount of sunlight, day and night. We've already passed the midpoint on the way towards the fall equinox. And so light is waning. And it's not going to be very long before we're in the deep, deep, deep dark of winter in the deep end. So we're already heading towards the end. But socially and culturally, it's a really young time of year. Schools are starting, things are getting back in gear, people are coming out of summer mode and getting into business Q4. Yeah. So, where are we? I'd like to explore that today. Like, literally, where are you? Where am I in all of this? So, we're going to bring it on down to the floor. I've got a little space set up here today. Ah, and let's bring it on down. I've got a little something just to put under the back of my head to soften things. I'm going to keep my knees bent. As I land here on the floor, I'm letting my hands just rest somewhere onto the belly. Give yourself a couple of breaths to just be in the settling of it all. In these first few breaths, the body's melting into the floor. Presence in. Over the next few breaths, our first and very important check-in. How are you breathing? How are you breathing? The breath long? Is the breath short? What are the places and spaces that the breath is moving easily into? Where does the breath feel constricted? Where are the places where the breath is getting a yes, right? Like the body anatomy itself is inviting and say, come in here. You're welcome here. On the inverse, are there places where the body's saying, nope, I don't want you to breathe in? We don't know why. And for now, we don't need to know why. Let the breath start to descend if you're up in the chest region. Take a moment to feel how the diaphragm moves. Inhaling downward and outward. Relaxing back into place with each exhale. Really taking our time here so that there is a connection to be made to the breath. We're down into the belly. What we're doing is taking the time to bring ourselves into the present moment. Present moment that this breath is breathing us into being. The inhale, space between. The exhale, space between. Here in this present, and here you are. While you're here breathing, wiggle the toes a little bit. And if you've got your feet on the floor like I do, just kind of flex and point the toes, feel the ankles, feel how the calves activate as you do that. Feel the knees that are connected from there, let them sway a little. Widen the feet, take the knees to the side in a zigzag twist. And feel the hips, and they're connected to the lower abdomen and the low back. Breathe in. Exhale over to the opposite. Breathe. And feel. Make your hands all around the abdomen. Feel the belly as you zigzag. The chest, and stretch the arms out to the side, the shoulders, the arms. Wiggle the fingers, the wrist. Here you are. This body, forearm, spiral the wrist. Upper arm, shoulders. You're turning your head in the opposite direction with the zigzag twist. Feel the neck, the jaw, back of head. Feel the cheeks and the chin, make faces. Wiggle your bunny nose, back of head that's moving on the floor. Puff the cheeks, blink the eyes, wiggle the eyebrows, forehead, hairline, top of head. Feel the whole body. Still making these zigzag twists. Feel the whole body. This whole body hurtling through space, resting upon the earth. All the things that are moving, shifting, changing, growing, dying, transforming, it's all going on. And we can find ourselves right here, right now. Gently draw the knees in towards the chest, give the legs a hug. Hands are at the knees, circling around the sacrum, drawing the knees in towards the chest, letting them move away. Just easing this low back into the equation. Try the opposite direction. Now let this swaying be from side to side. Notice the tight places, notice the places shouting or whispering or talking, varying degrees of loudness. Feel free to give those places a rub. A little love along the way. To the center, adjusting yourself a little. We're making these figure eights with the knees. So it's opposite circles, and that has the hips rocking from side to side. And then switch directions. Whichever was the first way you were going, go back. I'm gonna go and switch. How are you breathing? Back in the center again, just assessing as we draw the knees in towards the chest. And then we're going to give a big stretch to the body. We've been folded up for a while. Oh, stretch the leg, twist the arm. Stretch in both directions. I'm using just a little wiggling of my legs, some windshield wipers. Be in the Shavasana position, this neutral position. See what this reveals for you here. And then we're going to bend both knees, stretch the right leg towards the sky, clasp the hands on the back of the leg, and make circles at the ankles. And then switch that. Circle. And then flex and point and push through the ball mount to the foot. All right, when we're experiencing heaviness, dampness in the legs, ankles, water retention, very popular place. Try that with the other leg. Make sure you're supporting and circling. from the opposite direction. Flex and point. And push through the ball now. Stretching both legs, Pavamuttanasana, single leg to chest. You could lift that leg, or you could just simply bend the knee and draw it in. Relax both feet. Right knee comes in towards the chest. See if that opposite leg can really be present in how it's holding towards the floor. Presencing ourselves, breathing in the present moment. Inhale, stretching out or just lowering to the floor. Either way, we're going opposite side, flexing both feet. Inhale, stretch back out and down. More of those windshield wipers. Maybe a stretch of the arms overhead. We're going to take this into single leg twist, alternating sides. So we're inhaling, bending the right knee, placing that foot just on the inside of the left knee, and exhale to the outside. Arms can be out from the shoulders, and we're just hanging out here for a breath or two. Just feeling this connection. We're inhaling back through the center and then across the body. Try to keep that right shoulder on the floor. So I'm having a real tight thing over here today. So I'm just focused with the right shoulder on the floor. Not so much about how far into this twist am I going, because I also know that I'm going to be alternating sides. So I'm back to the center. I'm releasing left leg to the outside. Inhaling through the center. Exhale across the body. Turning the head in the opposite direction gets a beautiful rotation for the spine. Inhale back to center. Or at least we're going to go to each side 2 more times. It's really up to you where you want to hold. How long you'd like to hold for. You're presencing yourself, or just in the listening and the feeling. Inhale, center. Exhale across the body. And now center, exhale, release, switch sides. Left leg to the outside. Now center across the body. And now back to center, release. Enjoy a restful breath in between. Bridge pose breathing, Sapta Bandhasana. Bending both legs, feet on the floor, hands by the sides. Inhale, lifting. Feel that all the way through top of the spine, right? Like it's not, let's have our perspective from the perspective of the vertebrae that are moving. And so starting at sacrum, lifting towards the sky and the lumbar and the thoracic and the upper thoracic. Exhaling. Upper, back to lower. How about two more? This time, twist variation. We're going to cross a leg over the other, arms out to the side. Inhale, center, exhale, twist. We're going to do 5 to each side. And then we'll switch legs. Now go as far as it feels right in the moment. We're switching sides. Back to center. One more time, a big stretch. Legs extend, arms extend. And from here, we're going to take ourselves onto our bellies. Rolling to a set, rolling all the way onto the belly. Let's keep this extension stimulus going. Baby cobra, hands by the sides. Bringing belly into the floor, lifting upper back muscles in there. Give the shoulders a roll. Squeeze shoulder blades together and come on down. Inhale, roll shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together and bring it on down. As you breathe in between, fluff between the vertebra. And down. Hold here. Baby cobra. Feel how the upper back muscles engage, how the glutes can be relaxed. Ease the hands forward, pushing into the floor, elbows under the shoulders, Sphinx pose. Might feel a little bit tighter here. Big breath in. Exhale, down, arms extend forward, half locust. Inhale, right arm, left leg, few inches up and down. Inhale, left arm, right leg, few inches up and down. Flex that foot as you lift. Engaging the whole back of the leg. Last one here. Back to Sphinx as a resting pose. Breathe in. Exhale all the way down. Advaasana, reversed corpse pose. The arms extend forward, the forehead's towards the floor. We just melt. We bring the fishtail up for flapping and rock side to side. Doing a pretty good job of getting fluid moving through all aspects of the hips, all the joint spaces, presencing ourselves amongst all the moving parts in life, in the cosmos, in our daily needs. And all the responsibilities and all the desires amongst our purpose and vision. Back to center, up and back into child's pose. Take your time. Might need a little wigglies in between. Just breathing into some profoundly tight things in and around the SI joint. Right. So what we're inviting in is this difference between forcing ourselves into the prescribed shape called child's pose and an opportunity to just let the body ease itself where it's showing its constraints and restrictions. I could force myself into the shape of child's pose, or I could be with an exploration of tightness or constriction. And see if through my breath I can't bring oxygen, blood to those places and invite in something other than constriction. Playing around with walking the fingertips forward. Coming onto hands and knees, fingers spread very wide. A cat cow with the same exploration, playfulness, and gentleness in every pose today. Taking this side to side. Inhale, exhale. Back to center. Easeful towards that child's pose. See if anything has shifted. Downward facing dog, fingers spread wide. Knees bent. Another pedaling through the backs of the legs. Find the restfulness here. Walk feet towards hands. Walk hands back towards feet. Locating ourselves here in forward fold. Tabletop. Forward fold. Tabletop. Go forward fold. One more time, inhale, two. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale all the way up to standing. And here we are. Found ourselves in a standing position. And while we're here, let's check in with these hips. It's a dynamic movement. In the opposite direction. Figure eights from standing. Back to center, ringing the bell, forward and back. Ringing the bell side to side. Back to center. Wiggle and shake it out. Finding your stationary place here. And we're swinging this leg forward and backward. Little balance element. And the opposite leg. And we're back to center, shaking it out. Wiggle the ankle in the opposite direction. Wiggle the ankle, the opposite direction. Small shoulder circle. Relax face and jaw. Opposite direction, small shoulder circle. Go back the first direction. And again, split. Big shoulder circle. Really, these are arm circles. Breathing as I open. In the arm, and the kind of opposites. And we're back to center. Arms are out across the body. We're just pulsing. I kind of wiggle my fingers and a little bit diagonal. Just opening up across the chest. That good computer posture. Nice. Clasp the hands behind. Gentle neck movement. Chin moves forward and backward. We're in the center, and we move right and left. And we move ear to shoulder. And we move in half circle, tucking the chin up to the shoulder, down to the middle, opposite shoulder, inhale, exhale, and relaxing the jaw. Center, picking up the head. Oh, big stretch overhead and a little, got the hands actually clasped like this over my head and little side bend. I haven't really paid much attention to what I want to do with my feet. They could come closer together. Hmm. Back to center, standing back bend, called half wheel pose, Ati Chakrasana, feet together, hands by the, like behind the hips in line with the SI joint. Hips shift a little bit forward, heart moves towards the sky, and do as you like with your head. It all depends on how comfortable this feels. If you want to let the head drop back. Breathe in the pose as you come back to center. Little wiggles in between, bringing us down to the floor. We'll finish up there, a little centering. I've got something here to sit on the edge of. Give me a little bit of space in the hips. We'll come into seated position, enjoying seated twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, backhand, pushing chest forward, turning towards the space behind you. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Back to center. Over to the first side again. Inhale. Exhale, inhale. And we're back to the center with an opportunity to come back to the present moment consciousness. Just feel the whole body. Maybe taking yourself down the front and up the back, or down the back, up front. There's all the moving parts, and then there's you at the center in stillness. There's all the things we know and all the things we don't know, and then there's this present moment and this breath. Mm. If you're right where you need to be, you could extend yourself into a delicious meditative practice. Down for a Yoga Nidra rest, up into the next phase of your work. I don't know. But we have this time together in cultivation of present moment being, situating ourselves amongst the movement of seasons and cycles. And the more that we do this, the greater capacity we will have for adaptation. So thank you for the opportunity, and I will see you